we've got, we're trying to figure out whether or not these two triangles are congruent, and if they are, how. So let's take a second and look at the picture, because there's a lot of information that just is here that they haven't sort of given you, right? Look at these vertical angles. I'll tell you right now, and you're going to see it even more today. Whenever you've got like an hourglass or a bow tie shape, there's always these vertical angles in here, right? Like that. And vertical angles are congruent. And I will tell you right now, they're going to give these to you and they're not going to tell you about it. They're just going to have them there. And it will be expected that you look at the picture and go, oh, vertical angles. And just copy that down immediately just so that you have it. Because otherwise you're going to say to yourself, well, I don't have my information. Well, you do. It's there. You got to just make sure that you have it. Let's take a second to make some triangles so that we can sort of figure out what we know. I see that I have a pair of angles and two pairs of sides. So with the tools that we have now, we're only looking at side angle side. So I always like to take the angle part and put it up top. Both of these are angle C, ACB, and ECD, right? So I'm going to mark those like this, just so that they're there. And then I'm going to mark the two side on the left and the three side on the right. Same thing here, because we've got the two side and the three side on either sides of the angle. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. And then going down the two side for this triangle, we get B. Going down the three side, we get A over here. Going down the two side, we get a D here, and we get an E over here. So if you look, side, angle, side, we have it because we've got the angle and then the two sides that are bracing the angle, right? So we're good. This is exactly what we want. So what's the answer? Determine if the two triangles are congruent. Yes. Why? By side, angle, side congruence, right? We've got side, angle, side, and then the same thing over here. And then state how you know. Well, let's put everything down. Side, angle, side. Well, the first pair of sides is CB and CD. The angle pair, we got angle C is congruent to angle C. And again, since I've taken the two triangles and broken them up this way, it's clear when I'm talking about angle C which angles I'm talking about, right? The angle C on the left has to be BCA because that's the angle C on the left-hand triangle. The angle C on the right has to be DCE, right? If you did not break it up into the two triangles, the expectation would be that you use the three-letter government name for each of these, because then I don't know which one you're talking about. But if you break up the triangles like I do here, then you know you're good, right? And then the last side pair, we've got CA and CE, right? And there we go. So again, let's look at our question was determine if the two triangles are congruent. We determined that. Here's my picture that shows what's going on. And my answer is right here. Yes. Determine. Yes, I have determined. The answer is yes. And how do we know? By side angle side congruence. What's my evidence for it being side angle side congruence? Right here. I've taken this pictorial information and I've written it out so everyone can read it clearly. And if you do this, it's not a lot. So if you do that, you know that you have done everything that you need to do. So let's talk about today's work. What are we going to be doing today? We're going to be using the angle side angle and the angle side postulates to show that triangles are congruent. How are we going to do this? We're going to collect corresponding parts, show that they're congruent to each other, and make sure that the parts that we have line up correctly. Why are we going to do this? We're going to have more tools in our toolkit now. So before we only had 2 ways to show, and we only had certain situations that we could show. Now that we have these 2 new tools, that means we're going to have even more diagrams that we can work with, even more configurations of information that we can use to show. And one of the things that, you're going to see is, with a few notable exceptions, the way that we can do this, if we've got a triangle and we've got 3 corresponding pairs of things, we know we're probably okay. All right? Especially if we talk about side, 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 angle, side, angle, side, angle, 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 side, and then one last one. We'll talk about this next week, which is right angle, hypotenuse, leg. Notice each time I've indicated 3 pieces of information. All right, so let's get started. Angle, side, angle. So you'll notice here for angle, side, angle, I have basically the exact opposite of what I did here. Here I had a pair of sides with the angle in between. Here, instead of having a pair of sides with the angle in between, I have the opposite, a pair of angles with the side in between. Notice how it looks. The 2 bottom angles here with the side that's, the base side in the middle. The 2 bottom angles here with the base side in the middle. And I honestly believe, in my heart of hearts, if you take the time to draw out the triangles this way so you can see it configured correctly, just like with side angle side, remember how I told you, if I'm thinking side angle side, I'm going to take the triangle, I'm going to put it so that the angle they give us is up top, so I can see that the pair of sides along the way are the same as well, right? Here, if I honestly believe what I'm working with is angle side angle or angle angle side, I'm going to try and make the 2 angles and put them on the bottom so I can see it. Because if you do it that way, and you do it that way every time, you're going to start to see what things look like. And maybe eventually you won't need to do that, but even if, like me, you need to do that for decades, it's still fine. You're still going to get the correct answer, and it's going to be less work on your brain, right? When you orient things properly and put things together visually, you have a better shot of getting it right because you'll see it. So if you can do it like this, if you can make your picture look like this, you're going to have a much easier time. So once again, are these congruent? Yes. How do we know? By angle, side, angle, congruence. So let's label everything out. Angle, side, angle. Well, what's my left angle? Angle A is going to be congruent to angle D. What's my side pair on the bottom? AC is going to be congruent to DF. And what's my angle pair on the right? Angle C is congruent to angle F. And so here's what I have, and here's what I know. And you'll notice the two angle pairs, the letters are the same as the side pair, right? Angle A and angle C, side AC. Angle D and angle F, side DF. That's another way that you can double check to make sure that what you're doing is right, So what I want to do here is I want to talk about these three triangles right here, and I want to know which two triangles are congruent. And the way that they're drawn here makes things difficult, right? The way that they're drawn here makes things difficult. And what I want to notice is which one is the odd triangle out, right? So if I look at this one and I put it down here, let me put it down here in angle side angle format. Let's put the 1 here and the 2 here. Before I do anything else, let's put those angles down, and angle 1 is T, angle 2 is W, the other letter goes here is A, and then I want to transfer this side over, WA, well that goes here. The other two triangles, if you notice, the side is in between the two angles. Here it's not. This is not angle side angle. This is set up to be angle angle side, which is fine. But like, you know, it's not what we're doing, right? Like we're going to talk in a few minutes about angle angle side, but I don't want to deal with angle angle side right now. I want angle side angle. See how these are both angle side angle, angle side angle. They're all in a row like this. Angle side angle. They're all in a row like this. So I can tell that these are the two that are going to be congruent, and I can show it on the two triangles right here. Yeah. Let's look at it on these two triangles. Well, we've got, again, let's put the 1 angle here and the 2 angle here. Let's put the 1 angle here and the 2 angle here. Well, what's the letter for the 1 angle on the first one? That's U. What's the letter for the 2 angle is V. And the other letter is S. And I see that the side is in between U and V. What's the letter for the 1 angle here is E. What's the letter for the 2 angle here is O. What's the other letter is N. And where's the side in between O and E? Well, hey, see how these are identical to each other? This is what we're talking about. I know that these two triangles are going to be congruent. So, like here, let's address the actual question. Which two triangles are congruent? Triangle SUV is congruent to triangle NEO by angle side angle congruence, right? And again, let's detail our work here. Angle pair number 1, angle U is congruent to angle E. Side pair, UV is congruent to EO. Angle pair number 2, angle V, is congruent to angle O. See? Angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle. So there's not as much, like I'm putting all the work possible here, but like if you're going through, you can push through this real quick if you put it together visually, right? So what I'm going to do, we're going to try another problem. Go ahead, give this a shot. All right. So once again, take a second and look at the three triangles here that we have, right? Here, I'll even make 3 triangles just so we can look at all of them together in the same breath. So start with the angles. Always start with the angles. What are my angles? I've got, each of them have 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And the key here is where's the Ladder's going to go, and where's the side pair going to be? And then what's the other one? Right? So here I've labeled everything. Let's put the sides where they go. All right, this side has the one on GH. This side has the one on FN, and this side has the one on CA. Which one isn't in the right spot? This one, right? This one is the odd triangle out. This is the one that doesn't have the side in the middle where it's supposed to go. So we know that one's wrong. So which two triangles are congruent? Triangle CAT is congruent to triangle GHO. They tried to spell cat, fin, and hog, but they didn't put all the letters in the right spot. So this one has to be GHO. It can't be HOG because C doesn't go with H, right? G doesn't go with T. So you got to make sure, and this is something to be very, very careful about. Make sure that your letters match the way they do in the picture. The letters are meaningless. They could be whatever letters you want, but they have to be corresponding to each other. It has to be the same angle with the same angle, right? The one has to go with the one. The two has to go with the two. The side pair has to go with the side pair. So you got to make it work that way. How? By angle, side, angle. And I'll detail them over here. Angle, side, angle. So we've got angle C is congruent to angle G. Side pair GH is congruent to side pair CA. And then the other pair of angles, angle A is congruent to angle H. Right? Angle, side, angle. So what we're going to see going forward is that angle, side, angle works. And if we have two that are angle, angle, side instead, that's still going to work. You can't have mix and match, but as long as they're both angle, side, angle, or both angle, angle, side, then it works. And I think it's important that we talk about why. Why is it that angle, angle, side works just as well as angle, side, angle? And it's because since we have two pairs of angles, remember the third angles theorem, buy two, get one free? If you know two angles, technically you know that the third pair of angles is congruent too, right? So that gives us that third pair. That means that we could technically, anytime we did angle, side, angle, or anytime we did angle, angle, side, we could show that the other pair of angles was the same and then flip-flop and do the other one. But I'm going to tell you right here and right now that try and aim for one. Okay, I want to do angle, angle, side for this one because that's the way it's set up. I want to do angle, side, angle because that's the way it's set up. I don't think that it's necessary for you to have to go through and do a whole bunch of like mental gymnastics. Try and work with what you've got. Okay? So like here, again. Yes. By angle, angle, side. Congruence, right? Angle, angle, side. Angle, angle, side. And you'll notice again, this time the angle pairs don't have the side pair between them. So again, if we were to like triangles out here and draw them nice and neatly, I'm going to move you over here just so I can see a little bit better. So Again, I always like to take my angle pairs, put them on the bottom, put the one down here, the two down here, the one down here, the two down here in the same place so that everything is corresponding, right? Angle A is going to go here. Angle B is going to go here. Oh, and what's the one angle on the other one? We got D and we got E, right? And let's put the two other ones. We got what's the missing one here is C. What's the missing one here is F. And then when we look at the side here is side AC. So the two angles and then the congruent side is on the left. The two angles here and the congruent side FD is on the left. They match. This is key. They match. Just like before, they match. You see how they match? This is key. Just like here, they match. This is key. Here, these two match. This one doesn't. The two that match are the ones that are correct. They match. Make sure that they match. It does make a difference if they don't match. Because if they don't match, then it doesn't work. So let's go through and let's talk about angle, angle, side. Do we have the right information to show congruence? Another way to ask this question is, do they match? Right? Let's find out together. Let's take all of our information and put it where it goes. Put the one angle here, the two angle here, the one angle here, the two angle here. Always start off with the angles like this if we're looking for angle, angle, side, angle, side, angle. It will help, I promise. All right, now let's name these triangles. This is B, this is I, this is F. What's this one? We've got U, we've got T, we've got O. And then BF, that's the one side here. I have to mark that one. What's this one is OT, right? I've got to mark that one. Do they match? Are they the same? No, right? They're backwards from each other. Now, for those of you who have taken chemistry, you can the really great thing about angle angle side is it actually displays what we call handedness or chirality. This is a chemistry term. Like you'll find certain organic compounds, even though they have the exact same information, they're set up backwards from each other. So this one, you'll talk about L versus R, left-handed versus right-handed. This is L angle side angle. This is R angle side angle. Right? You don't need to know that. I'm just trying to draw a connection to chemistry here, but here's what I'll tell you. They're not the same, right? One's got it on the left, one's got it on the right, and so they don't match. So do we have the right information? No. And I'll tell you, if you draw this picture, this is good work right here. You don't have to write a paragraph to say, well, side FB is on the left-hand side attached to the one angle. Side OT is on the right-hand side attached to the two angle. You don't have to do that. You drew the picture. You showed what it is. This is clearly no, right? So now what I want you to do, you're going to do the exact same thing, and you're going to check to see if it matches for this problem. Okay, so again, even before we start, let's look at the picture that we have. Remember, I was talking about bow tie and hourglass shapes? They give you extra information just for being there. Just like last time when we were talking about, the reflexive side pair, whenever you've got a vertical angle pair like this, you know that you have congruence. Now I'm going to make sure that I give them a different number of swooshies from what we have already, just so that we don't get confused. And again, before we begin, I know that I'm working with angle side or angle side angle, so I'm going to begin my process by putting the little swooshies on the bottom, right? And I'm going to name them now. So the one swooshies in A, the two swooshies in R. Leftover one's a P. The one swooshie on this one is I. The two swooshy again is an R. And the leftover one is an S, right? Where does the side pair go? On the left triangle, it's PR, so I'm going to put it here. On the right triangle, it's SR, so I'm going to put it here. Do they match? Do they match? Do we have the right stuff for angle side angle or angle angle side? Yeah, absolutely, right? Since they match, we know that it's right. So let's put our work in here. We know that triangle PAR is congruent to triangle SIR, and we're going to name our angle side. So what's our first angle is angle A, and that's congruent to angle I. What's our second angle? Angle R, which is congruent to angle R. And lastly, what's our side pair? Side PR is going to be congruent to side SR. And that's how you do it.